Well, welcome back to Ruse Reviews. We went and saw Fast and Furious, which is somehow not a mistake. And we came away. Well, we came away, really.
I don't know if I let you guys go watch it, and both of you told me to go see it, and now I don't trust either of you.
Oh, you shouldn't.
We had to have somebody else sharing this with us.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't
like now
go
that
see
you've
Fast
seen
and
it,
Furious
someone else
because
has
it's
to
good.
too.
Yeah.
You go see Fast and Furious because you're supposed to.
You have to.
How did we get here?
Well, it's family.
Oh my god.
I feel like Dominic Toretto is more my brother than Matt Lagnus.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, in many ways.
So, realistically, we grew up together from a humble storekeeper to savior of the universe. Realistically, he's just He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't get to go to space in this one, though.
Yeah, well, clearly he gave them training. Otherwise, they wouldn't have known what to do.
So this is what it's gonna be.
I really wish they would have had like a room, like a round table at that right before that scene, so they could have gone over what's about to happen. So it sounded like any of them had an inkling of an idea of what was about to go down.
Don't talk about it. You're embarrassing.
Oh my god.
They sent a plastic Pontiac Fiero into orbit. If Fast 9
with scuba suits
sending a Fiero and Ludacris and Tyrese to space isn't an advocation for the flat Earth, I don't know what is. Because if they can go to space, it just must not exist. It's that simple.
What's really scary is like if another one, which seems like they're going to. How do you top that? How do you get more absurd than what we just saw?
They go to the
Mars.
fucking moon. They go to the moon, yeah. They go to a different planet. They street race on Venus.
Gas planet.
On the rings of Saturn.
There you go.
First one around the Saturn rings wins $9,000.
Got to get traction on the gravel.
Right. I want two people.
Space nitro.
Yeah, I want two people spraying spray paint on the starting line of a Saturn ring.
Yep.
For the intro to Fast 10.
Okay, so I heard that Fast 10 is actually going to be in 2 parts.
Is it Fast 10 and a half?
I think so. That's
amazing.
Yeah.
Like a mid-cycle refresh.
Yeah.
F10P1, F10P2.
Yeah. Well, if they don't call it FX, they're just fucking up.
They're going to call it F10 and then shift F10.
There you go.
Or something. Or control F10.
No, it's like F10.2. It's like an HD station.
Yeah. Did you guys find it humorous throughout the movie?
I found the whole movie hilarious.
Well, I was there was so much just so dumb immediately that I shook my head probably for an hour and a half of the 2 hours or wherever that movie was. I
just don't think you have enough respect for the brand, sir.
90% of Tyrese's lines were just him screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
him
I
screaming
love that.
and him being self-aware were definitely easily my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 10% of him not screaming was him almost breaking the fourth wall.
You're right though. We really did need him to look at the camera and just kind of shrug like a Jim moment in The Office.
I would have loved that.
The beginning of the movie when they had the thing, just because you mentioned him being self-aware, he was in a freaking kill box with dudes with assault rifles or machine whatever you want to call them.
Above him and to the sides of him.
All around him. They lit him up. Somehow this guy who was in Barksdale or something with a ankle bracelet a few years ago, all of a sudden shoots him entire military squad has bullet holes in his shirt and is fine.
I'm literally watching that scene right now. It's Barstow.
Barstow, okay.
Yeah.
Small prison.
Yeah, he was at the what do you call it? The demolition derby.
Yeah, in his RV.
Right.
That guy somehow it turns into Rambo and gets shot in like bullet holes in his shirt and nothing. Like,
well, I mean that just proves the theory, though, right?
Like poor Jesse, there was a shitty drive-by going by, and he's scrambling across the front yard, and he dies.
They weren't invincible until Fast 4, clearly.
Yeah, he had to make it till at least the fourth one.
Yeah. Or is it Justin Linvincible?
I mean, yeah, we saw Vince nearly die from what? A shotgun blast and a little bit of a cable wrapped around his arm. I mean, clearly he wasn't cut out for the next 8 movies. I mean, he should have just been better than that.
Well, he showed up again, but then didn't he die in that one?
Yeah, he did.
Like that, and then the people who do die outside of those two guys apparently doesn't matter. They're just never dead, or they come back, or whatever.
If they don't bring Jesse back for 10, I'm going to be very, very upset. I mean, X. If they don't bring it back for X.
I mean, so maybe Mr. Nobody was secretly in LA checking out street racers back in the day and faked Jesse's death on the front lawn.
I'd love to see it go back that far.
Oh my God.
That would be.
He's standing across the street. He's firing fake bullets.
It's just Kurt Russell and The Rock in the house across the street.
Okay, I got one better. Okay. He is like the pizza delivery boy. He turns his car around and pulls a mask off.
Oh my God.
He was, oh my gosh. He found another way home.
I was
if
just
he goes
looking,
back to that would be fantastic. I would genuinely want to see them jump the shark literally, but for the purposes of fan service. Strictly.
So Vince came back for Fast 5.
Yep.
And he died. There's a one-line blurb. He died saving Hobbs and his team.
That was when they were being like transported or whatever and got ambushed in the road.
Yep.
I don't remember the movies 4 through 6. I'm going to be really honest with you. I need to go back and watch them.
Well, 4 was a remake of 2, but in the desert, if I remember right. Like the Mexico border drug running one, but it's basically the same premise as 2.
Yep.
5 was that one where they ran, like they bailed Dom out and then ran down to Brazil.
Yep.
And we're hiding out there.
That's one where The Rock shows up for the first time.
Yeah. And they did like the train heist at the beginning or whatever.
Yeah.
Of the cars.
Which is the one where they had the dually semi truck thing and they hooked up to the gas tanker? Which one? The Mad Max one. Which one did they do that in? 5?
4, I think.
4 was the beginning of 4? Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember 6 right now.
I don't know.
Was that the one where there was like wasn't there one where like a whole like parking garage like fell down on top of like Dom and Hobbs or something?
Yeah. Yep.
That was 7.
Was that 7?
No, because by 7 they were working with Hobbs. Yep.
That meant, I saw Hobbs and Shaw and I do not remember it, but then I thought they kind of teamed up in that movie.
Yeah, they did.
Well, it was a good guy team up, yeah.
Now the spoiler, the credit scene in F9, Shaw's back to being a bad guy.
Or I don't think he's back. I think Han just has a he wants to settle it. He wants to settle something. What I'm not sure. He knew
just wants his arc
he was back. He knew he was being fake killed, but he wants to settle the score of being fake killed.
Yeah. Right.
You wanted to kill me, so I'm here to fake kill you.
I'm here to avenge my fake death. I'm here to avenge you not being good at your job. That's what I'm avenging. It's like you tried to kill me, but you thought you did it, and now I'm mad, even though I won. I'm not 100% sure on that. So,
I think you just spoiled the plot for the next movie.
Yeah,
right. That's how Jesse comes back.
I did like in this one how they brought in the Tokyo Drift guys, somehow. All of that didn't make sense to me. Of like,
Not
they
even mad
went to
about
Tokyo.
that.
They went to Tokyo to find Han. I would have thought they would have teamed up with them there and found him. Not like, oh, they're randomly in Germany now building rocket cars because we needed some recognizable character for that. Like, how do you
easily my favorite part of the movie was them coming back. And
like,
I don't know how that's possible, but Bow Wow was the worst looking of the three. He's the one with the career like that. What's happening?
I started calling him Big Wolf now.
Yeah,
I think I thought the white guy looked the worst of them all. Like he looked like he's lost way too much weight.
When they got like close shots, it was like far away. You're like, oh, it's that guy, and then they got closer. Like, oh,
yeah. What happened to you?
Not real sure.
The royalties. You didn't have a good contract.
It went backwards though. Like for him, he aged into Skeletor, and for Bow Wow, he aged into Big Wolf.
Yeah, and then the Asian guy, I'm pretty sure he was in the movie, but I don't remember him.
He was just the mechanic. He was like the guy. He was like the Jesse of Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
Okay.
No, he's a legit rocket scientist.
Right, which is the same thing. If you know how to put a floppy disk into a computer and build a Supra.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah, right. He was going to go to MIT probably, but he had that shit.
Got the ADD, and that was it.
There's just so much absurdity throughout this entire movie.
Yeah, none of it matters. You keep going back to that, but realistically, it just needed to happen. If it wasn't like that, I wouldn't know what to do, because what are they going to go back to doing? Racing for a couple $1,000s on the street?
I can see them not racing. Now. I can see them not racing, but like legitimately, you expect like the front spindle and hub on a Charger to not break apart off the car as you jump it off a curb, and for those people to not off a curb, a cliff, and swing across, smack into the face of a cliff, and then flip on top, and the people who weren't seatbelted to not have a scratch on them.
Listen, and a Fiero in space. The Hellcat control arms are a lot beefier. That's
all of that aside, the worst thing for me was the Toyota 86 exhaust noise.
I don't remember it, but I know it wasn't right.
I couldn't suspend that much belief.
That was what got you?
That was what got me.
Yep. Just like the 2 Jay-Z sound coming out of Dom's RX-7 in the first one. That's always ruined it for me.
Yeah.
That always ruined it for me.
But like, I don't know. Like the first one, the most unbelievable thing was the car doing a wheelie, doing a burnout. And now we have a Fiero in space.
Well, yeah. I mean, it took 8 movies to get that outrageous, though. I mean, they could have done that in 3 and it would have just been dumb. But at this point, it's expected.
Yeah. And then
if they would have done that in Tokyo Drift, I would have never watched another one again. But they did it now, and I'm almost fine with it.
They have to keep up in the ante. That's the thing. Like, you look at Too Fast, Too Furious, well, there was a lot that happened there. But then you get to Tokyo Drift, and they got to make that big jump. So they dumped a 2JZ, or no, what was it, into the Mustang. The
RB?
Yeah, RB.
Yep.
Into the Mustang. Which
is a real car. Like, that was a real thing they did. That was an actual functional car. So like, in terms of like, okay, kind of dumb, but at the same time, if you had that engine and you had that car and you knew how to do stuff, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
But if you had a Apache helicopter and a Fiero, would you put those together? I'm not 100% sure you'd make that jump. So slightly different circumstances.
They also didn't have the CGI budget that they do now.
Sure. That's reasonable.
Oh, what was the other that they nodded to was John Cena playing the part of Dom's brother. And there was a point where I looked at Drew and I went, he's so white though. Like, it's not just this like hodgepodge of all whatever cultures have came together for the Torettos.
Yes.
Like, Cena's really white. But then they acknowledged it because Cypher was like, Dominic Toretto's brother. I know that they're whatever she said, but they acknowledged that this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, in terms of the entire movie, you sort of forget because of everything else that's going on.
I guess.
And I mean, realistically, I couldn't see him half the time anyway. So
yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think
didn't even know he was in the movie.
I just for some reason got to remember the like flashback they did to the street race where it sent his brother off into the weird path, and him hitting the nitrous and getting squirrely on the big end, hitting the nitrous the way he did, but recovering. And I can't think of any scene in that movie that just doesn't have something stupid.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing that's stronger than family. It's 200 shot.
On the top.
Nice.
200 shot on the top end. That'll always get you out of whack. You gotta have a progressive controller. And you want to feed that in real slow.
Oh man, Fast and Furious 10, well, and 11 they're saying now, starts filming in January.
Oh, good.
So we should have another one this time next year.
Well, then I'm expecting twice as many Dodge T-Rex trucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I really feel like, you know, they may have made that movie a year too soon for the jungle scenes to not feature the TRX. Like, that's legitimately the right vehicle for that. But to be fair, they did have the Trackhawk Cherokee they could have had at their disposal. So still not 100% sure how they got the Mustang and the Hellcat in the jungle and said, you know what? This is fine. This is what people would do.
Well, the Mustang magnet jet. Remember?
Well, yeah. But just getting there,
they could have dropped it off too.
Jet. Yeah, well, just the whole scene. Like, I'm going to the jungle. I'm going to take my what appeared to be a GT500, but it was definitely just a 5-liter Mustang.
I've seen Mustangs jump a lot of curves.
That's true.
I don't feel that some logs would be that much different.
I guess that's true. I should take Cars and Coffee as a reasonable test of their stability off road.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know.
Like they could have, as stupid as it would be, they could have taken that scene and have him be in like a Wrangler with the roof off and have a plane with like some hooks bolted to it and catch him. And it's somehow, as absurd as that would be more reasonable than what they did.
Well, you know what?
Those magnets for the rest of the movie.
They did it too early. You know what else they could have had? They could have had they have the Wrangler with the 392 motor in it now too. They have the Wrangler 392 and they've got the TRX. And
one thing I do hope is that there's the whole meme of like Ford, we're going to electrify the Mustang, and GM, we're going to electrify the Vet, and Dodge, it snorts a line off a hooker's ass, and let's put a Hellcat engine in the minivan.
Yes.
I'll still hate the movie the next time, but if they have a Pacifica with a Hellcat,
yes.
What else can this motor go in?
Right. If the Pacifica was on a rear-wheel drive platform, I'm pretty sure it would have already been done.
I mean,
their new mid-size truck would be the next candidate, I'd imagine.
Right. Regardless, though, I enjoyed it for what it was, which was terrible. I mean, let's just be absolutely clear here. The movie is terrible. It's awful. I enjoyed the flashbacks. I enjoyed the story of the brother drama, regardless of how badly it was done. And I enjoyed the very end where they brought in Brian for 10 seconds, not shown, which I'm actually glad they didn't attempt to show him with CGI or anything. The idea that he was there was nice.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, clearly everybody knows he can't be. But other than that, everything in between all of it was easily one of the worst films I've ever sat through. And I was unable to sit through The Incredible Hulk back in 2007. So this was easily worse than that, but I did watch it.
You know what? You mentioning those throwback scenes, for as much CGI as they like to throw at these movies, and for the fact that they just finished a movie, one or two ago, that had Paul Walker, where they had to use like scenes with his brother, and
but he was in that movie already. Like he was in it.
So but they finished off with scenes with his brother, and like you couldn't really tell exactly where they were. I was really surprised the throwback scenes were two people that didn't look anything like Vin Diesel or John Cena, and like even like their heights didn't match how they actually ended up being in. Like you're gonna tell me like two like 21-year-old guys then like worked out so much that the one who was 5 inches shorter became the same height. Like
human growth hormone's crazy, man.
People age different. That's the power of family.
Yeah.
And completely change how they look because they just used two random guys that they didn't even try to make them look like.
Again, like I completely agree. But when you throw the rest of the movie in there with just how bad that is,
yep.
Do you eat like? Is it even on your? It's being on your radar is kind of crazy. Like with how everything else plays out. I mean, he swung a Hellcat Charger across an ocean onto a mountain with a bridge cable hooked to a cast wheel, not wearing a seatbelt with the windows down.
Yep.
So,
with like the two adults that take care of his child both in the car.
Correct. He also caught her from falling with the hood of said Charger. And I really want to know how that's better than just hitting the dirt. I don't completely grasp.
I thought about that.
The hood being better.
That Charger, the engine was mounted midship. So there was nothing under that hood.
That was a different one.
Yeah, that was
a different one.
Oh, that's something too. They have this random mission that comes up out of nowhere after they have lives and they're out in the middle of nowhere and they go to the UK, and as soon as they get to the UK, he suddenly has a mid-engine Charger.
Listen.
That he bails on somewhere in the middle of the city to go run through rooftops.
When you've got a family as big as his, you've got access to cars.
Apparently.
Yeah. Take my $200,000 custom Charger and run it into the sides of buildings, please.
The street racer turned secret agent just has a stash of modified Chargers across the globe just in case.
Just in case. Right.
Yep.
I want the simple life. I want to live on a farm, but just in case shit goes down, I've got 25 Chargers stored randomly around the globe.
Yep.
All in various states of build.
Yep.
They all have stable in the gas tank, so they'll fire up when I get there.
Yep. I mean, as absurd as the movie is, there's the very, very extremes. But I was even like the race thing that his dad was in. He came into the pits and then took his helmet off and had a conversation with 3 people. And like, who does that in the middle of a race? And then to throw the race, instead of the fact that you just took a 45-second pit when it should have been 12
on a very small track.
Right. Then you just do the gas line trick with led to you dying. Like you were already losing the race at that point.
Just don't win. Just don't.
Yeah. Like you stop
try and drive just slow enough to lose. I don't. Yep. Yeah, I didn't grasp that entirely. And
I get for a movie and the setup of everything, they had to have the conversation there. But like have it over the radio or something, like if that's the case, like
didn't register enough in the family meter without it.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Well, yeah,
you had to get the shot of the necklace hanging from there.
Yeah, what was the what was the thing? Like that wasn't like one of the last laps and he got in front. And then they were like, "Oh, but you've got a pit with like 3 laps left." Is this like the first Cars movie? Is this tire gonna blow out on the last lap? What like why didn't you just stay out and win the race? Like you were already there. You were good. I don't know. I didn't get that part.
Yep.
Aside from obviously needing it for the plot, it was poorly done. But in terms of the rest of the movie, fairly well done. Comparatively speaking, that was one of the more believable parts. So I don't know that I should be that critical of some of the highest quality car action in the film was the wheel-to-wheel racing with real crashing and flipping and cars hitting each other. The rest of it was extremely fake compared to that scene.
Yeah.
But poorly done, but better than the rest of it.
Speaking of car things that don't make sense, how do you flip an entire friggin' armored semi by magneting 2 small cars to the front wheels?
End over end.
Flip those cars.
And make it do a nose grind for like 400 yards.
Right.
And continue to drag it down the road through what can only be described as magic. Because at some point they were going downhill, and I would have believed it, but up until that point, they had been dragging it on the roof for roughly 5 miles. So
also, the
Hour of Family.
At some point, the thing was rolling like sideways down a hill and then landed on a road, and magically suddenly had the traction of a race car to stay stable and continue driving instead of continuing to roll the 100,000 pounds down a cliff.
I'm going to be real honest with you. Clearly, is because Dom was at the wheel. I don't.
Yeah. He just rolled to the other side, and that was what did it.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the ability to control that, I would have questioned everything in the franchise.
It was his necklace.
You saw him jump a Lycan Hypersport out of like a 200-story window and land it in the next building. I don't question Dom's driving one bit.
Yeah. He has really good
like he's win.
Ability to judge distance too.
Yeah.
I question
the plot should be like the plot should be like him losing his ability to like judge distance or like basic. The last movie is like Dom can hardly see street signs. Like he told everything's messed up. He has to wear like really big glasses, like bubbles.
The plot should be that he gets like someone pokes him in the eye and he loses depth perception.
Yeah. Or he gets or whatever that when like you feel dizzy or like you always feel like you're falling down. I forget what that disease is called, but like he can't hold himself up straight, or if he turned a car too fast, he would get sick. That would be a good plot line because he'd never be able to be the same again, and everybody else would have to help him.
Yeah.
We should send this video directly to FX directors so that they'll take some hints.
Before they start filming.
Right.
I can't get over how stupid they apparently think everyone is as far as how physics works, and also like
they don't think people are that stupid. People are that stupid. That's
the
not
easiest job.
That's not what the difference is.
Like to cars ever has to be the guy who's like the automotive consultant on Fast and Furious franchise. Like, yeah, the car could do that. That's believable. We can make that work.
Well, they had a car consultant on the first few movies, Craig Lieberman. He's very vocal in like the YouTube and Instagram community now. And he talks about like how he would tell them, none of this is possible. This isn't what happens. Nobody would say this. This is not what would happen. And they'd say, okay. And then they'd do it anyway. So that was somebody that was fairly grounded. I mean, they had like him, RJ DeVera, Stephen Papadakis, all the people who you would trust a decent amount and listen to none of them. So if they're not going to listen to them, I don't think they need them at all. Like they can just do whatever the hell they want with nobody telling them yes or no.
Then they just went to that prop house to build the cars for the movies.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know like what I expected with this movie. I was hoping it would be good, or at least better than it was. It wasn't. But it doesn't matter. I'll go see the next one. I'll go see Fast 30. I don't honestly care. I'm not here for good movies. I'm here because I have to be. There's nothing about this franchise that could ever do enough wrong to make me hate it. I will watch it every time it comes out. I will buy the box set every 5 years. I don't care. It's just part of life at this point. When Fast and Furious stops, I do believe the economy will tank. So it's like an Iraq war. Like, obviously, we don't want it. But if it stops, we're all in trouble.
It's just a perpetual necessity.
Right. It's something everybody universally hates, but everybody is aware of. They watch it occasionally, and it's the only thing keeping the economy afloat. So
it's true.
And it's driving Toyota Supra prices into the $500,000 range, which is extraordinarily disappointing for my 45-year-old self to ever be able to afford. So I'll never be able to do it.
At some point, the franchise is going to lose me.
No.
And I swear it was after the last movie, and then both of you guys said, "No, yeah, it's good enough. Go see it."
I don't think that's what we said.
No, we said you have to see it.
Yeah. I don't think we ever said it was good or that we appreciated it. But you did have to see it.
And it was, for me, it was important because it was the first time back in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
In like a year and a half. So just getting to have that experience again.
I coughed on everything.
I licked so many doorknobs on my way in.
Right.
But yeah, just sitting there having popcorn and a drink and just experiencing it that way, I can watch a pretty bad movie, just to have that experience again.
I'd go see it again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Oh, baby. Oh, and eat cotton candy, Autumn says, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all things considered, I'd give Fast 9 a 14 out of 9. And I don't think that it could get any better than it has already. It definitely peaked about 7 movies ago. So I'm not, I don't really have a lot of expectations I need to be met. I just need the movie to exist. I don't really care at this point. So, like I said, I'll watch all of them.
Yeah. I give it a 4 family out of 5 family rating.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
For family ratings, that's one of the better ones. Yeah. Jake?
I'm going to give it like 3 upshifts out of a 7-speed Eclipse.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How many of those were grinding, though?
Push it through the radio.
Did you double clutch any of those?
Oh, like you should.
Right. But yeah, I don't know that anything else needs to be said. I do hope that the Tokyo Drift clan comes back again, and maybe they bring back my favorite fast car of all time, the Hulk Volkswagen.
Oh yeah, and for the love of God, please feed that guy.
Right.
Well, see you next time on Reviews.
Thanks,
see ya.
guys.